something that I want to share. I don't want to talk about too much of the whole targeting, gang stalking thing, because it is part of my life and I can't ignore it, right? You can't ignore reality, because you can't. It's there, and you know, the mind is so amazing, because you know, your mentality towards something dictates everything. You know, you can take two people, right, and you can put them in the same circumstance, and then one person will deem it like in a more pessimistic light, and then another person will deem it in a more hopeful manner. And I've been on both sides of the spectrum where, you know, it just seems really hard, because, you know, it's like people, sometimes I honestly, at this point, I look at it like a test, I guess. I still don't understand how people could be mean and all that. Like, I get it. Sometimes people get so provoked that they act out overtly and they say something they regret, and, you know, or people's feelings get hurt. But I've never experienced it to the point where, like, someone would try to thwart or undermine someone's safety, you know, like I've never been in that position before. And I will say the hardest part about this whole thing is being intuitive. Here's my take on intuition and psychic abilities and all that. I do think we all have that. Like, if you took a regular person off the street who, well, I don't know, because you kind of have to, like, you have to lift the veil of, not illusion, but you have to be willing to be accepting of the idea that, I don't know if you believe that there's more out there, or, I don't know, you have to take the limitations off your mind, because if you get a closed-minded individual who doesn't believe in psychology, sociology, spirituality, the esoteric kind of metaphysical stuff, that it'll be a lot harder, I think, to train their mind to, how do I explain this in a quantifiable, not Darwinian, like a, you know, scientific, it's just, and I think scientists are quantifying spirituality now. They're getting more tangible, concrete, empirical evidence on it. I'm not really good at speaking about that, because I sit on both sides. Like, I believe in science and I also believe in spirituality, and this is my point. This is just me espousing things on the internet, because why not, right? I started a YouTube channel, so might as well run with it, right? I just didn't want to start a channel based off of trauma. That's not, if anything, I would have done something like more, I don't know, like child life therapy, or, you know, I don't know. That's just my thing, because I love working with kids and I love talking about helping people, and in another life maybe I would have done that. But in this one, I guess this was supposed to be my plight, and this is supposed to be what I went through, or I'm going through. Really interesting though. Because of the adversity, I'm going to put my thing here. Because of the adversity and the trauma, I have thought long and hard about lately, my faith and my, I don't know if you call it my religion, because I'm not really, I mean, I don't know. Is religiosity the same as spirituality at this point? I think they're two distinct things. Because of everything I've gone through, I've had to fall back on my faith a lot. And lately I feel like I've been, I don't know, it's just funny, because it's interesting to me, because lately there's so many things. When people come up for your safety, or like when they try to attack your light, when they try to put you through, I don't know if you want to call it a test of wills or a test of strength, whether it's from God or the universe or some person trying to come at you with ill intentions, whatever you want to call it, whatever, trials, tribulations, we all go through that, right? I've had to take a really good hard look at humanity as of late, and forgive me if I cry, because targeting, unfortunately, the targeted community, people get painted out as looking like they're psychotic or schizophrenic or bipolar or borderline this and that, and all these, categorized, compartmentalized ailments of mental illness, right? And I do believe we all experience some sort of neuroses or psychosis at one point in our life, because life is hard, things don't go our way. If you're in school, let's say you've studied so long, if you're in medicine or you're a lawyer or you're whatever, if you're trying to be a teacher, or you're in college and you study really hard for a final, and then you get a really crappy grade on your final, or you do a dissertation and you get like the most crappy grade, ever, and just whatever. We all go through, like mothers who lose their children or their babies, that's stillborn, miscarriage. There's so many ways that trauma can be manifested, and I don't look at, targeting is a very unique experience. I look at it, it's funny because I'm not just a victim of it, I'm a purveyor, I'm an observer of it, so I almost kind of look at it from the lens of a researcher, because my mind is always tinkering, and I'm always going, why do people do this? Why is the sky blue? Why does a praying mantis look like a little thing with weird little arms? Why do leaves have veins on them? How does chlorophyll work? Different things, like how does a fashion designer come up with a new design in fashion, and then, there's so many different things my mind is so curious about. But this whole thing is just fascinating to me, because it's so hard to explain to someone who doesn't go through it. And the most frightening part about it is meandering or navigating through the experience of it. And there's so many, like, oh my God, the conspiracy aspect of it, the elusiveness of it, the mysteriousness of the whole experience, because trying to pinpoint it and say, oh, it's this person, it's this one, it's this one, it's that one, it's this one, there's so many speculations, and there's so many people who negate it, and there's also a group of people who don't negate it. I found out that people who do negate it are usually like in on it or whatever, but I'm not going to get into that, because that's not who I am. I look at myself as someone who, you push through adversity as best as you can. Like right now, my body is so weak, and I know that's because I haven't eaten, and I love food. I love food so much. But because of a series of events that have happened and transpired in recent months, where I'm pretty sure my food has been messed with, and other things, and other things having to do with targeting, which I don't, because here's the thing, I don't want to get in trouble with people who are, doing it, the people who are facilitating it. I don't want to exacerbate it and make things worse. And I learned something about staying in your lane, right? Don't deviate, don't fiddle faddle or dabble in places that are not your place. Like, one thing I will say this, and please, the tarot community, please do not come after me when I say this. Please don't. I get that we all have freedom of speech. I get that we all are entitled to speaking our mind about things, right? In relation to experiences. And I understand tarot card readers, they want to figure out everything. Trust me, like, it's very attractive to do that. But you have to stay in your lane. And I'm saying this as a warning to all tarot, because not tarot card readers, just spiritual people. I get it. Like, we all have a mission on earth to do, like light workers and empaths and whatnot. But at the same time, the forces that be, how do I break this down so it's like understandable? Fix my hair for a second. It's not worth losing your life over. I've been through something really hard and really tragic, and I relied on my faith. Part of that was a journey of learning that I think I have some sort of psychic ability or mediumship. I'm not really good at it. I believe that we all can be trained in that, but it's almost like a double-edged sword, because as I started to sift and sort through things and try to figure out, and yes, I had cards where I made my own cards. If you don't know what tarot card reading is, it's like, you know, those, like, when they're in all the towns, like, basically, like, those little, like, house in Miami, they'd have these little houses where they had, it would say psychic reading, and it had palm reading, and you picture a woman with a turban with little hoop earrings, and they're like, I'm going to read your future, and I'm going to give you, I don't know why I sound like that, but I imagine them being like that. It's not like that. There's people that are gifted, and they can feel energy. What is that? What does that mean? How do I explain that to someone who's super ultra religious and like, I don't believe in any of that stuff, and I don't, you know, like, I get you. I little background about me. I was raised Catholic. I got all the sacraments, baptism, communion, loved communion. I got to wear the cutest little white dress and a little thing or a bow in my hair. Got the little Eucharist. I love church. When I went to church and we got the little Eucharist, that was like my favorite my favorite moments of church were the Eucharist, and then turning behind someone and being like, peace be with you, and, you know, may peace, and then shaking people's hands and like wishing them well. Like, I love that. And the little wafer tasted so good. So, you know, that's that. I did communion, and then I did, oh my God, 7th grade was confirmation. Obviously reconciliation. But I feel like there's more than that. Why am I missing? I feel like I'm missing stuff. But yeah, I learned a lot from, you know, Catholic Church. I still to this day, I'm kind of trying to figure out what's the difference with, you know, Catholicism and Christianity. And as of late, which is interesting, I never thought ever in my wildest dreams, I actually was considering, you know, Mormonism. Is it called Mormonism? So I was approached by, and there's a reason why I'm mentioning this, because I do think faith is really important when you're gang stalked and all that. It's almost like, I'm not trying to, okay, it's weird. Let me get my logic together, or else it's not going to be easy to follow my thought pattern or thought wave. So, but anyways, I've been, you know, Mormonism I've looked into as of recent. I think it's called Latter-day Saints. What else? I'm trying to think. The other, Judaism, which is Jewish, you know, because my my history or my DNA thing, because I'm really like, for someone that's very like on the creative side of things, I'm also very analytical, and I just like knowing things, you know. I love learning about medicine and a little bit of science. I don't like chemistry though. Chemistry is really hard for me. When I wanted to become a physician assistant, I went to excellent school, by the way, Miami-Dade College. Shout out to Miami-Dade College. I wanted to go there, and they look like they had an excellent program. But opened the book, had the Bunsen burner thing. I was like, can't do this. Avogadro's number, all that balancing chemical equations. Couldn't do it. It was too hard. Or I'm just lazy. But I like the medicine part of it. But anyways, I forgot why I mentioned that. Oh, science and whatnot, because I enjoy learning about science. And you would think I wouldn't, because I like the spiritual stuff more. But anyways, so going back to Mormonism, the Jewish faith, I've been really lately wanting to learn more about Jewish faith, just because, I don't know, I like, when Christmas comes around, I'm like, there's like Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights movie, not just because of that sounds, oh my god, that sounds so childish for me to say that, just because I want a movie. It's more than that. People that are Jewish have experienced so much hatred, anti-Semitism, the Holocaust. There's so much discrimination because people say, oh, all the rich people are Jewish. That's not true. I'm sure there's Black Americans that are Jewish, there's Asian Americans that are Jewish, there's Asian people that are, I was going to say Asian Jewish. There's Asian people who are wealthy also. So, it's, I try not to discriminate, because I just think discrimination is really, really ugly. Imagine if someone came up to you and started making fun of you because of the way you look. How would you feel? If someone, based on the pretenses of your race, someone makes fun of you and says, oh, because she's Hispanic or she's part Jewish or whatever, that's really sad. And it makes people feel really bad. So, as of late, and it was funny, there was a guy on the street today, and there's 2 guys in the street corner, and they were preaching about the gospel, about God, and they're like, if you're this one, if you're a Jew and you don't do this, then you won't be saved. This idea of salvation, it's as of recent, because of gang stalking and targeting and whatnot, I've really been thinking about this. I go, what does this mean? Why are people talking about salvation? Because when I went to church, I didn't think about salvation. I just thought about doing good, being a good person, being a good human. What does that look like? To me, that means exemplifying goodness, grace, kindness, humility, honesty. And throughout my experience, the past 6 years, I've met the opposite of that. So I had to dig in my heels more than ever to get myself into the headspace of, I know these things are coming against me. I know I feel the animosity brewing from people around me that I didn't know, and I could feel it. It was palpable. Like, when you walk in a room and you feel like it's awkward, and you're like, I don't fit in here, or the city doesn't feel right to me, or I don't feel welcome. Right? You know that, even if you're not psychic. I guarantee you take someone from Kentucky, you get someone from Missouri, you get someone from Oklahoma, and they've never talked a lickety split about spirituality. Everyone would feel it. It. But because of what I've been through, more than ever, it's almost like, I'm going to be honest, I feel like I'm kind of teetering now. I do identify as, I guess it's non-denominational Christian, but I kind of I have respect. I studied world religion in college in my sociology degree. So we had to learn about everything. And now more than ever, I feel like, I don't know, people are, either some people don't have any faith, or they don't, there's atheists that are I don't believe, I think when we die, that's it, we go kaputs, we're in the ground, you know, we mummify or we turn whatever. And then that concept also, dealing with one's mortality. When you're gang stalked, there's a constant cloud looming, you know. When you remember, there's the movie, what's that movie? We Don't Talk About Bruno. What's that one? I was gonna say Inside Out. Oh my God, the Encanto, the one with Lin-Manuel Miranda where he wrote all the music or whatever, right? I think he did. Did he? Or no? I think so. I hope so. He's awesome. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda is so talented. Anyways, I digress. In the movie they have this, I forgot that girl's name, but she has a little cloud looming over her head, and I can't remember her name, and she's a fun character. But anyways, as of late I've been like trying to, because I really had to fall back on my faith, because I literally, like, I felt like, I mean, my life fell apart. Like, I'm trying not to be rude, but like literally my life fell apart. My health suffered immensely. Like, I went to Quest Diagnostics today to get, like, I ordered lab work or blood work on my own out of pocket, just because, you know. And I hate, you know, one thing I hate talking about conspiracy shit. Excuse my language. I hate it, because it's not rooted, it's not that it's not rooted in fact, it's a 50-50, right? Because you're talking about from opinion, because this is opinion, right? Me talking about my life is an opinion. It's not based on fact. Yes, I've lived it. If you want to get philosophical, I can, but everyone's reality is subjective to their own. And my reality for the past 6 years is I have been come up against my safety, my happiness, my well-being. And I don't like to get angry. Not angry. I don't like, number one, I know the conspiracy theory thing, I never was into that. I've had coworkers who were like, oh, in Spanish they would talk about, oh, there's this, and the gobierno, da, 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 da. And I'm like, I like my version of my 6th grade George Washington textbook when I went to middle school, and it had, you know, all about this war and this and whatever. That was what I saw government as. I would still like to believe that that's what, down to its core, that's what government is about. You know, the Walt Disney World version of the Hall of Presidents with Morgan Freeman. To this day, I will never forget that. And that's satisfying to me. And so when people mention gang stalking, they talk about conspiracy. Oh, it's this one, it's that one, it's this one, it's this one. Whatever it is, it's not fun, it's not right. It's scary. You have people drive around you in cars, like, purposely, that it feels very staged or strategic. And then you start to read more into it, and you give credence to things that may not have anything to do with your situation, but because you're so hypervigilant and you're so on edge, you go, oh, that's definitely. And you know why I say this too is because this morning when I went to get blood work done, there was a gentleman, we literally turned the corner at the same time. He turned the corner, I was behind him, and I turned the corner with him, and he was on his phone, he was talking very loudly on his phone, and I was within a few feet of him. And anybody else, let's say he was going through something similar to me, he would have gone, oh, she's a gang stalker, she's following me. And it gave me a little bit of insight, and I go, and I'm not a gang stalker, I'm not a trafficker, right? And I thought about it, I was like, he could have perceived me as a gang stalker, but I'm just a regular person walking the street. So it's amazing, because I was really close to him, and at one point he actually looked back like, oh my God, is someone behind me? You know, while he was on the phone. And I thought about it, and I go, how many times do we misperceive things because, you know, we've been hurt, or, you know, tricked or duped or betrayed or abused. And I want to make this very especially clear to the people but because a lot of people that I've noticed that say that they're targeted, or like me, like, you know, or whatever, they're spiritual people, they're empaths, they're light workers, starseeds, whatever you want to call them. Gifted people, intuitive people. And for some reason, I think they get it a lot harder than some other people. Sometimes people just get gang stalker targeted because, their spouse got angry or employer got angry, and then one thing leads to another, whatever. Sometimes it's for money. Like if you're left in a will or an inheritance, sometimes it's just random. Either way, and I don't know how this is all going to play out. I'm literally like, I don't want to say I feel like I'm on death's door, but I'm very skinny. I am afraid to eat. I don't mind disclosing that, because if my experience helps someone else, then great. Then I accomplished my mission on earth. I would hope that I have a lot more left in me, but it's been very scary because I legitimately have had my food and my water messed with, and I've tried so hard, and I know if someone says, oh, a grocery store, they can't do that in a grocery store because everything's sealed. I don't know. I don't know if I pissed off people. I don't know what I did. I will say that I do feel, because of everything, I didn't disclose this in my story. Maybe I did when I did my gang stalking thing about my gang stalking story. I kind of came into my own, and I'm going to touch on the faith stuff in a second more, but I'll elaborate on that. But I started to pull cards. If you don't know what that means, I don't mean like solitaire. I mean like I made my own cards and I put words on them because I saw other card readers on YouTube. I got really into, let me disclose this. I got into card reading 5 or 6 years ago? 7 years ago? I don't know. I used to be really into like horoscopes, which I know astrology is a pseudoscience. It's like a fun thing, and I was really into it growing up. I was like, oh, I'm a Virgo, and I used to go to like CVS and like when I was like 11, 12 years old and go to the teen magazines and like go in the back and be like, oh, my horoscope says this today. Oh, it's, I was really, 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 really invested in that. And then I realized I was like, wait, some of this isn't coming true. Maybe that's not true. So I kind of neglected it. So now I do think something with the moon, the sun, like, I don't know. I don't really know too much. I know the sun sign, the moon sign, the thing, whatever. I don't really know too much about it. It sounds cool though. But I used to watch those a lot. Like I used to watch the videos like on YouTube, like today is your horoscope and you're gonna whatever. And I was like, this is so cool. I was like, oh my God. So then I started to watch tarot readings and I was like, what is this? And if you don't know what it is, it's like these cards with pictures on them. And don't ask me how it works, because I don't know. There's other videos on the internet that explain it way better than me. I don't know. Like, go look up how does tarot work. I don't know. I tried to do it at one point. I got a tarot deck because I was like, I want to see what this is all about. And how or why certain cards, it's this idea that, like, I think your energy is supposed to not really influence. It's supposed to be this idea that there's, and this is where in the Catholic faith, just follow me here for a second. The Catholic faith, in the Bible, it's called necromancy, which is this idea that divination is your future telling is divination. Necromancy is when you get in touch with the departed, or not the departed, because I don't really believe. So people, if you're atheist, then I'm not going to judge you. Everyone has their belief system. But for those who are in the school of thought that there is afterlife, meaning your body goes, but like your soul, your essence, your spirit, your being, your consciousness. So when you think of like Zach Baggins on like that show Ghost Hunters, not, well, I don't know, that's like the souls that haven't, I think they still stay and lurk in the physical because they haven't, oh my god, what's that show with Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ghost Whisperer? Is that what it's called? Where she like helps the souls go to the next thing, whatever, the other side, and so, or dimension, whatever you want to call it. I kind of think of it like Doctor Strange, the multiverse, that kind of thing. I don't know, there's a lot of speculation of what it's like. But if you are in the school of thought that you believe that there's an afterlife and, you know, we move towards that. But in necromancy, they believe, or it's believed that you're not supposed to deal with that. When you're dead, you're dead. Like that's it. Like, may you rest in peace. Thank you so much. You live, whatever. And then you move forward and that's it. Or whatever. And then you don't mess with it. You know, people go to and by the way, I'm going to give my little 2 cents about tombstones and stuff. They're very, like, cemeteries, to me, are very morbid. They're beautiful when they have flowers, but it's like, for me, for people that have mausoleums, I mean, it's very nice, but like, it's still very like nerve-wracking to me, because I remember when I'd be driving and I'd see a cemetery, I'm like, oh, may all you, a weird thing I do is if I pass a cemetery, I'm like, may all your souls be happy, may all your souls be at peace, and I'm like, I'm not going to think bad thoughts about these souls or whoever they are that are, you know, I try to wish it well. I don't look at it like an ominous thing. So anyhow, moving forward, in certain religions, there's the idea that you're not supposed to tamper with that, because it leans or teeters into the occult, right? The more like mystical, and I don't know if yoga is part of the occult when you talk about chakras and all that stuff, because I was a yoga teacher and I taught about that stuff, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I used to love going, like, in Miami or Coral Gables, there was oh my god, what was it called, the Golden Triangle. I love that store. If you're ever in Coral Gables, go to Golden Triangle. They have like the cutest little knickknacks and stuff. And I don't want to be like, oh, I'm into the crystals. And I was really, 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 I mean, I had jade, I had the little rose quartz, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. And I had the little pebbles. And now I think it's internal. It's your belief system. I mean, I don't know, because I take it back, because Himalayan salt, pink salt, there's something with the ionization with that, and volcanic ash is really good, like, the pH, I don't know. Anyway, there's some scientific basis behind it, but, going back to the necromancy thing, it's believed that you're not supposed to dabble in that, you know, in some religions, like, when I grew up in Catholic school, masturbation was bad, homosexuality was bad, and premarital sex was bad. And I'm sure, and I don't even know if necromancy was mentioned in there. I was in middle school, they didn't talk about that, I don't think. But now more than ever, I'm like, I've been thinking a lot about faith and religion and stuff like that, because you're like, where do you fall? I feel like I'm that girl in the movie, I'm Here, God, or Where's Margaret, or something. It's me, God, Margaret, or I don't know. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. That's the one. Because I'm like, I've been sitting here lately and I'm like, where do I fall? Why are all these different denominations? There's, you know, Protestant, Episcopalian, Seventh-day Adventists, Pentecostals, Baptists, Protestants. Am I missing any? In the Christian faith, I'm saying, the LDS, you know, it's lately I've just been, and I'm like, but why do I want to learn about, I'm like, I Google, I'm like, can you be two-faced at once? I've been like, I want to learn about, you know, Judaism and, you know, I don't know. I just think it's, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I'm weird. This is why I don't fit into society. Because I'd rather learn about different things than be at a bar. Maybe you can bring a book to a bar. because seriously, like for me, I'm the kind of person I'm very much a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. I cannot, but I take it back. I do love making cocktails. When I worked in hospitality, I forced myself to learn how to make cocktails because I didn't want to be in the dark about what people were ordering. So I made like margaritas, cosmopolitans, old fashions, Manhattans, Moscow mules, screwdrivers, espresso martinis, lemon drop martini, coconut lemon drop martini. Anything I'm missing? Those are like the main ones. So anyways, I digress. I apologize. What was I saying? Necromancy. But yes, I got into card reading, and then I tried to learn tarot, but I didn't. It kind of scared me because I remember one time I did a reading. I was in my bathroom, and my parents really didn't they didn't really care for me doing that stuff. I don't know why. They really weren't into it. My mom was like, "Do not do that. That's the devil's work." And I'm like, I'm not conjuring up demons, you know. But I will say this: that you have to be careful because you don't know who or what comes through in readings and stuff, you know. Oh, this is bright. You never know. So, yeah, I just, I don't know. I stopped it. There was one, I forgot. There was a deck that I had. It was so pretty, but then I got rid of it, and I was like, you know what? I was like, this doesn't feel right. So I stopped that, and then I was interested though. I was like, how can I, because I felt like internally, and I don't know if this was spirit or God or something, something was calling me to do like this. There's oracle card readings, and it said, this is something very interesting that I learned. Some people consider oracles to be bad things, to basically be, let me turn this off for a second, to basically essentially be people who are, I don't want to say aligned with the devil, but possessed by demons. Essentially, that's what people think that oracle people are, psychic people. And hold on, because I have someone calling me, and I'm trying to get my thoughts out. I'm trying to get, not now. Speaking of religion. Okay, not now, ladies, I'm sorry. So it's believed that people who are psychic are oracles, are possessed by demons. Now, if anyone's met me, people that have met me, they know that I'm not, I mean, I don't think I am. I don't talk to the devil. I like to believe, when I pray, I say, "They are Father." I've said, I don't know, I forgot the Apostles' Creed, but that was something that I was supposed to know. And then, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, blessed art thou amongst women. I know those like the back of my hand. And Lord God, protect me, Christ Jesus, such a light shine through me. Holy Spirit, fill me with everything. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in Him, and He helps me. I had that above my bed growing up, and I don't know. I appreciated that. I got it off of Amazon. It was a beautiful decal. So, and please, for people that want to come at me and be like, "Oh my God, you're such a Jesus freak," and I'm like, no. It's the same thing for people if you're Buddhist, if you're what's it called, if you're Buddhist, if you're, ow, I'm itching, I got bitten by a mosquito, if you are what else, is it Taoism or Taoism? I have much respect for I think Taoism and Taoism is so cool. That's why I think, for me, I listen to everything. Because that's to me, if you solely think that your point of view, and hear me out, people, when I say this, if you think that your point of view is the only view, that is elitism. You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, but this faith is bad, this one's bad." How do you say that if you've never been to that? You can never, ever, 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 ever speak about someone else's faith unless you go to that church. Same thing to be said, with gang stalking, there's been so much speculation that I've researched. They go, oh, it's the Freemasons, it's the this and that, it's the whatever, and this and that, and the third. I cannot speak to Freemasonry. Okay? I can't speak to Eastern Star, whatever. I cannot speak to what this and this is, or this, or Mormonism, or, Christianity and Catholicism, yes. Freemasonry is not a religion. I want to make that clear. I equate Freemasonry almost, when you talk about how yoga, people go, oh, yoga's a religion. No, it's not. It's a way of being. It's a lifestyle. A lot of people who are yogis are vegans, plant-based, essentially. I tried to do that. It's very hard. To this day, it's funny. I think my body craves fruit, and I just don't want it because it's like so... I don't like textures, like certain textures. Like I was in the grocery store today, I'm like... It was like a veggie platter, or like a fruit, and I'm like, no. It was like celery and carrots and ranch. I was like, no, I can't do it. But my body wants it, but my mind is like, no, I can't do it. Won't eat bananas, cherries, kiwi, beets. I can't do it. Don't ask me why. I'm wearing purple, and you would think, but I just don't want it. I wish I did. I wish I could be normal like everyone else and I would eat fruit, but yeah. So anyways, for me, it's, I think, you can't speak to something unless you've been in it. I can't speak to someone's experience in life unless I walked in their shoes. And this is where empathy comes in, right? If you're an empathetic person, you're able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Doesn't take much. All you have to do is close your eyes and imagine, what would it be like if I was in that person's shoes? And that's it. To me, it's not that hard. It's very easy for me. It's a very easy exercise for me to be able to go, how is that person feeling today? When we, especially in Chicago, what I've noticed is a lot of people, it's so fast paced. There's a lot of people coming and going, walking around. And I'm very observant. I notice the smallest of my, like there was a trash bag, a black trash bag that was floating in the wind continuously. Like when I first went to get my blood work done, and then when I went back, and I'm like, man, no one's picked up that trash bag. And it bothered me. It wasn't a trash bag, it was a plastic bag. And it kept floating in the wind. I'm like, no one's picked this thing up. It bothered me so much because I hate when people don't throw shit away. Because this is our earth and this is like our home. So you want to treat it with the utmost respect and reverence. So this bag is floating, whatever. But like I notice every single little thing. But a lot of people, everyone is in their own world, but like some people, they don't even acknowledge each other. And more than ever, I feel like people have lost sight of what it means to be compassionate towards one another. And a lot of people operate from a very hedonistic, self-serving, self-centered perspective. So when people want to talk about Christ, or they want to talk about, there's so many speculations of, oh, Christ is not real, they made it up, and the Bible's a bunch of fables and this and that. And I go, I don't think so. Part of me is like, maybe, the researcher part of me, the scientific part of my brain, the analytical part, which is the left brain part, is like, oh no, but it could be fake. It could have been a bunch of people, because when you pass things down through word of mouth, things shift and change. Like the game telephone, and you're like, oh, this and this and this, and then you go around the circle and you share it, and then it ends up a different story. Well, there's the Shroud of Turin. There's a bunch of other things, and Golgotha and whatnot. So it's like, I would like to believe that there's something. Do we know what that is, essentially? Not really. But faith is believing without seeing. right? So when I talk about, faith, I look at it like, I used to say non-denominational in that sense, but and please, I don't need a bunch of people to be like, you're wrong, you need to practice the rituals of going to church, and you won't be saved if you don't go to church. And I do agree that there's a lot of like-minded people that you can find in a church community, because they're all, like-minded individuals working towards a common goal, or working on themselves. Church people are very, because the core values that are associated with religiosity and spirituality are usually altruism, empathy, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, things like that. So like, a lot of people, especially people when they're more focused on greed or making money, all of that other stuff becomes superfluous and falls to the wayside. So their main goal is to focus on money, right? So that's like for me, I strive to always, ever since I was a little girl, I strive to live my life from the heart out. So I wanted to make others happy, because seeing others happy made me happy, which is weird, but that's the way it is. That's the way I was built. Like, that's who I am. And there's people who, everyone's different. Some people are motivated, they don't think about that as much, and maybe they're more motivated to, I don't know, make movies one day, or someone wants to be an entertainer and that's their main focus. And some people want to design clothes. Some people want to be lawyers. Some people want to be doctors. Whatever it is, For me, I don't know. And it's funny because growing up, someone told me, "Oh, you should have been a nun," and I'm like, maybe at this point, I don't know anymore, because like, I don't know. Maybe a pastor, but that's different. But going back to the thing about necromancy and oracles and psychics and stuff, it is very woo-woo. It is very strange, like, it's strange. Talking to the other side, like, who's gonna do that, like, that's weird. But if someone got to know me, they would quickly see I'm not anything like, I'm not a demon. I freaking rebuke Satan, if Satan is a thing. I want to get a shirt that says, "Not today, Satan." There's a shirt on Etsy, there's sweatshirt I've been wanting to get. I had a sticker on my computer that said that. Because entities, I do believe, because I did encounter, there was 5 years ago, in fact, when all this weird stuff started that I went through back home in Miami, I swear to God, I kid you not, unless I was hallucinating, which I don't think I was, and I don't do drugs, I was like 27, 28, I saw a weird shadowy figure thing. I woke up in a fright, and I saw a weird shadowy figure thing, and it knocked the wind out of me, and I was like, oh my God, this is so scary. And I go, what the heck was that? And I went to a guy who allegedly was like an angel reader. He can contact guardian angels or whatever, and he said that people were doing like curses or hexes or like wishing ill upon me. And I'm like, oh, that explains a lot. I'm like, that makes sense while I'm having bad dreams and insomnia and bad luck. I was like, this makes sense, because someone literally tried to do whatever, spiritual voodoo, hoodoo, whatever it's called. And I never believed in that, because I was like, I don't believe in that. I was gonna say the word mashugana. Is that what? I don't believe in that stuff. So, because I try to see the light side of things, not the dark. Anyhow, so I got into the card reading after watching card readings on YouTube, and then I got into the card decks or whatever. Like, I started to go, oh, I like this, and they had little words on them. I'm not really good at doing an oracle tutorial, but they had little words on them, and it's the idea that spirit or God uses the cards as the medium literally not psychic medium, but like the medium in which to communicate with you, to guide you. Some people believe it's your higher self communicating with you, and others believe it's like, you know, God or whatever you think God to be. And I'm not one, and I'm not an authority to speak on what God is. I can't. I'm not gonna do that. I will say though that, like, I think, I don't know, like, I look at it like an energy, you know. But then you say, if there's a God, then why would he allow children to get cancer? If there's a God, why would he allow war? Why would he allow murder, rape, incest? There's good and evil. Good is the same thing as evil. It exists on a spectrum. So that's how I see it. But the reason why I bring this up is because I had cards that had letters on them. Similar, not like a Ouija board, but like almost, when looking back, I thought about it and I go, it could kind of be like that, because, you know, a Ouija board is just, it has a bunch of letters and it has a little thingy. I will never touch that as long as I live. I'm scared of those things. But I had my own cards that I made index cards, because other card readers did that. And I put little, you know, letters on them of the alphabet, and then I would just shuffle them and stuff would come out. And I was like, because I was so determined to figure out what was happening to me, why I was experiencing what I was experiencing, and I just needed answers because no one was giving me answers. And I felt so confused because I go, I'm a good girl, I do the right thing, I follow the rules, I've gotten 2 traffic tickets, I've never hurt anybody, except one girl that I was friends with in middle school. I wasn't really nice to her, and I still regret that to this day at 34 years old. It is what it is. I still, to this day, it hurts me that I said, I wasn't like mean, I was just like catty, you know. I was like, I don't want to be friends with you because I want to be friends with the other people that I have a little group with. And it's funny because probably now I probably would have been friends with her. Anyways, I'm gonna turn on my heater just because I literally, according to modern day science and medical stuff, I have mild hypothermia. Probably because I have no fat insulation on me. I lost my tetas a little bit, my culito, and my arms are still a little bit strong, which is good. But I was 94 degrees last night, or 95, and you're supposed to be 95. So you're supposed to be 98.6, and I'm like 95 degrees. So not good. So I have my heater here. And I do feel very, very weak. I know I need electrolytes and stuff, but any hoosers. I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought. So necromancy, card reading, oracles. But yeah, if people got to know me, they would see I don't talk to not that I know of. I've met demonic people. I think there's people who are very, very self-interested and mean and talk crap about people, and they are bad. But I myself, and trust me, I've had, like, the past few days, like right now, I feel so weak right now. I feel so tired. And I go, I don't know if it's something that I ate. I don't know. Speak of cards, I have a bunch of cards here. I don't know, my water. There's so many things that I speculate in terms of gang stalking and targeting. And because I'm hungry, and I've been so scared to eat because of drink spiking or roofing or whatever. It's scary, folks. Like, I'm not kidding. And if you say, oh, then what's the purpose of why would someone do that to you? Don't ask me, I don't. Yo no sé qué. In French, is it je ne sais pas? I do not know. Yeah, je ne sais pas. And yo no sé qué, nadie. No, actually, yo sé un poquito. Porque I can speak in Spanish. If you're Spanish, I did actually put, like, on my hashtags, there's, like, one of the things said psychology. And I'm like, no, let me do the hashtag psychologie, like French, and psicología, because it's in Spanish. And now I'm just like, why not? Let's make it multicultural, right? There's no discrimination here. Clear waters. Happy water, like, when I say clear waters, meaning like placid waters, peaceful waters. So yes, but I don't talk to demons. I don't think card readers, I will say, different people, they get really into it, and there's like mirror scrying. I don't know if they have a little globe with the crystal thing. I don't really do. It's more of just like my relationship with God, whatever you perceive that to be, and it's my own higher self or intuition trying to guide me forward to figure out and navigate life. Now, do I want to sit here and rely on cards all day? No. But since I see the good in everyone and everything, I get duped so freaking easily by people. So I have to be extra careful, because I'm the kind of person that's like, like if you stop me on the street and you're like, miss, can I get, I'll be like, yeah, I'll give you $1. There was a lady that was homeless in Miami, that she was in a wheelchair. She had cute little pigtails, and I'll never forget, like, I opened without my parents knowing. They had a Honda Pilot at the time, and it was really elevated, and I opened my window, and I'm like, oh, and I got like $10 allowance or something, so I gave my whole allowance away to this one woman. And then she's on the other side of the street by DSW, the shoe store, and she gets out of her wheelchair, and I'm like, no, and I'm like, I can't believe it, and I fell for it, and I'm like, I thought she was like crippled, and she couldn't walk, and she could walk. She was just using the cripple thing to like get, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, my heart is too good. I'm like, I'm too pure. I need to be a bitch. Not a bitch, but like, I need to be stronger. Because people, that's a soft target. People use people like that. So anyways, now more than ever though, I have been trying to figure out, and I'm going to be very honest, because of being stalked and hacked and provoked and all this stuff, I'm very skeptical. Even churches, I kid you not. Because there was a guy that told me, he said, oh, usually when people put spyware on your phone, that means that you're being trafficked. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, I didn't expect that. Can you explain that to me? He's like, yeah, people get followed, and then they try to, take people to, they'll drug them, and they'll do certain things, and they'll try to sell them. And I'm like, oh, like, that's great. That's exactly what I thought I wanted for my life. And it's, by the way, trafficking is not always like, it's people think it's like, Liam Neeson, if I see you, I get you. Or what does he say in the movie? I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want, but I will find you. And it's not always like that. It's sometimes exploitation, trying to get sexual favors from someone, manual labor, like underpaid manual labor, underage stuff, like with kids, like exploiting, like child trafficking, stuff like that. So there was a lady that was a therapist who was she was an advocate for the kids that would get trafficked in Senegal, like Senegalese, that thing. So that's also prevalent. So there's a variety of forms of trafficking, and I go, when a security guy told me that, I was like, that's great. In my mind, I'm like, I never fathomed that never came across my mind. So I just thought it was hacking and seeing scary stuff on my feed and someone messing with me. I'm like, oh, no. It's even more than that. So yeah, I wanted to figure things out, and so I said, let me try this thing, you know, with the cards and whatnot. Let me see if I can find anything. And some of it was helpful. Some of it I think I got a little bit more information than I bargained for, and I go, I can't do this anymore. So I threw them out. Because, you know, it's like Pandora's box. You don't know what you're going to get, you know. And then some people, you know, people that are criminals and whatnot, they see that as a threat, right? They see people like that. Like there was a guy, not saying I'm this, I want to make this very clear. I'm not a government agent. I don't work for FBI. I'm not any of that stuff. I've never dabbled in that stuff. I'm very, very plain and basic in the best way possible. But there was a guy who was being interviewed who, he worked for the CIA. He was a psychic medium or something, right? Or something like that, a remote viewing, whatever. And he nearly almost got killed. He said, he was from Miami actually. He got almost killed 5 times. 5 times. Like, imagine you're trying to live your life like you're just a normal dude, but you're like kind of gifted and sensitive to energy, and like some people try to like like literally, I kid you not, 5. There's an interview, he said it. He's like, my family's safety, and I'm like, oh my god. But I'm not like, I don't work for any, like I'm just like intuitive or whatever. So like, but anyways, like I got nervous about that, and I was, you know, I was like, oh my god, he's psychic, and like imagine people, but like it's not the same as like a psychic like Teresa Caputo, you know, or like Tyler Henry, who does like talks to the celebrity people, or Matthew Frazier. It's these are people who are trained for, not for espionage, but to try to find things, like if there's a body somewhere, like, oh, this person's here, and then that one's like, it's really interesting, like from a forensic perspective or forensic psychology perspective. But it's not good for the people that, if you're, you know, you're innocent, but like it's not good like for the bad people that are like in transnational crime organization trafficking rings that try to come after people. So not saying that that's what's happening to me, but you know, it's just, you never know who you're talking to. You never know who you piss off. Please, for the love of God. That's why I'm going to do a shout out to all the card readers out there. And I guess God is not warning me. Because I've never said this before, and I've never done this on a public forum. To all, and I'm going to put hashtag card readers. Please be careful. Be careful what energy you tap into. Be careful who you're reading about. Be careful of the message that you're sending. Stay in your lane. To the card readers. There's a lot of card readers out there that I've come across, and they will mention 3-letter agencies though, and I'm sorry, I disagree with that. Why? Respectfully, that is none of your people's business. You people could be, and I'm saying this, you people could be obstructing justice. And mind you, I'm spiritual. I'm super into, like, I'm all like, yeah, let's pray, you know, the light of God, woo-hoo, you know, like I'm all into that. Do the, you know, the spiritual prayer and, you know, using your own intuition to guide you on a journey. But I never even publicized what I was doing for my readings. And I feel like my light and my life is in danger, because who knows who or what it was in my phone or whatever was, like, I don't know. But I came on YouTube to seek solace and solidarity and help, because I am experiencing weird phenomena. I am experiencing weird stuff. I'm gonna put my hair up. Right, this one. I am experiencing weird stuff in my life, and it's been very scary. Like, scary to the point of, like, you know, where I've almost lost my life. So I'm telling, you know, card readers out there, please be careful. Stay in your lane. I know it's a lot of fun to do crime hour this, but if you are not employed, as a police officer, if you're not in the Navy, if you're not in whatever, it's not your business. Don't publicize it on the internet. Because, and here's the thing too, that I've learned. People do card readings for entertainment, right? They do card readings because there's a shock value of entertainment value. Oh, but with that, there's a lot of misinformation that can come from that, because I'm at fault for that. Meaning not me, like I didn't do that with my card readings. I've listened to card readers that I think were like fake as shit, and they're like, download to my Cash App, give me money to my, pay me this. Be mindful. Fact check your resources. Mediumship, spirituality, the connection you have with God or whatever, that is something that deserves respect and reverence. Going on a public platform, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, because people are going to be like, oh, that's, why are you, it's so entertaining. If it involves anything with here's the thing, we live in, my hair keeps, we live in a world where we have freedom of speech, which is a blessing. You go to another country, you don't have that. There's censorship, obviously privacy laws, things like that. Women, there's certain things you can and cannot do. But I implore you people, it is not worth losing your life over. I feel like my life is being targeted, because I do feel like I do have some gifts. And I don't know if it's from this country, if it's another country doing it. I don't know who or what. My story is very specific and unique because it happened. It originated in Miami, and things happened that transpired there with a specific person that I hold no animosity towards, and I hope he doesn't give I was going to say a rat's ass, but a tiddlywink about me. I don't know. But because of that, it had not a snowball effect, but a domino effect, where a spotlight was put on my life that I did not want. And then because of that, I started to try to seek resources, and I did try to get, not legal action, just when I couldn't get, when it didn't turn out the way I expected it to, I was like, let me rely on my readings or whatever. And then after that, I was like, it didn't really go the way that I hoped, it just, I don't know. Not hoped it would, just things came about that I didn't expect, in terms of like, my safety and just everything. And yeah. So I'm just going to say, be very, very careful, folks. Be very mindful of when you do card readings. If you are into that stuff, be careful what you're talking about. Because there are people, now, does it justify, let me make this clear, does it justify that, because there's so much data, there's so much, everyone's doing so much in the world, and so much information. If you go into those things, there's people that monitor that stuff. There are databases with computers that are monitoring that on a daily basis. So you have to be very careful. And sometimes people just get picked on because they get picked on, but I'm telling this to all card readers out there. A PSA, please be careful. I didn't even really have a following or presence, and I'm going through this shit. So, there's one reader in particular I used to watch religiously, and she says, I'm going to keep doing readings. I don't care what they say. They can attack me all they want. Listen, is it worth losing your life over? No. It's not. It's not. Life is a gift. And if you hyper focus on all the wrong things in the world, you're going to miss out on all the wonderful right things. Let the wrong people sit in their cesspool of wrong. God will judge them. The universe, I've learned this when I say I've been through hell, put it this way, I'm pretty sure intuitively there was a group effort to take my life, to take literally, through either spiritual warfare, psychological homicide or degradation, psychological warfare, sabotage, slander, defamation, intentional drugging and poisoning, a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have survived. But I did. And I'm so grateful to be here. But I don't want any of you people that may be somewhat like me to be in that same position. It's not worth it. I literally have to strategize and figure out, can I touch this doorknob? What food can I eat? What food is safe for me to eat? Can I order from this vendor? I almost spend 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours trying to figure out, can I order from this Uber Eats? Can I do DoorDash? Can I do this one? Can I do that one? It is not a fun way to live your life. I had to bring stuff in my backpack from my home, my apartment, because I get scared that people can come into my building, into my unit, and tamper with my stuff. It's not worth it. There's a country song with Reba McEntire, Thomas Rhett, Lady A, and someone else, and they said, what's it called? In a race you can't win, slow it down. You only get one go around because the finish line is 6 feet in the ground. In a race you can't win. In a world full of hate, be the light. If you do somebody wrong, make it right. Don't hide in the dark, you were born to shine. In a world full of hate, that's the song, the name of the song, Be the Light. And this is where the part that I struggle with, and I go, it's not about conceding or surrendering, it's about, because it's hard to do that when you've been so betrayed. It really, really is. It's so hard. And this is where faith comes in, because when I say I lost everything, I really mean I lost everything. I did nothing wrong. If you haven't listened to my story, you can watch that video from before, but I did nothing wrong. And I was made to feel like I did something wrong. I didn't even, I was seeing all this stuff on my YouTube feed, like someone literally almost hijacks my YouTube feed and they put all this scary stuff about like murder, about trafficking, about getting shot at, about death penalty. I mean, really like scary stuff. And there was more to that, and I've literally had to, it's scary. I had to adjust my entire life to survive the most horrible experience of my life. And it's not over yet, because people, I think, it was so humiliating too, because so many people, I think, whoever this group of people are that are doing this, facilitating it, it's like they want to degrade me so that, I have nothing, and I can't eat anything, and I can't drink water, and I can't shower, because if I shower, because I've taken showers where my water, like, I felt so drained after it. Like, I would take a shower and I was like, man, I have no energy. I'm like, and I remember when I was in Philadelphia once, when I was living there, there was a chemical spill in the water, and I hadn't known that yet, and I got a rash, and I go, am I allergic to the water? And then I learned that it was a latex spill. So I was right. Everything that I thought about was right. So it's been very scary, and I don't want anyone else to go through what I'm going through, because people are mean, and when they have power, they exercise that power in a poor manner. Forget about it. Like, and now it's come to the point where I think these are the kind of people that want to see me go camping and live in a hut, in a tent, because they think I shouldn't be here anymore. People are that greedy, they're that narcissistic. It's like fighting good with evil. You know, it's like, you know, with Star Wars when you have Darth Vader and you have, you know, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're like, you know, with Darth Maul or whatnot. And what's the other guy, the Sith, the Palpatine guy, who looks like he needs a shit ton of collagen on his face, you know, because he has all the wrinkles. And then Rey and, you know, Ben come in and they're like, you know, if you've never seen The Last Jedi, bro, like, oh, it was such a good, I saw it on the plane when I was going to, I forgot where I was going to. Maybe it was Philly or something, or Pittsburgh, or Michigan, I don't know. That was when I was studying to be an occupational therapist, but it was, I cried. I cried in Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, and then also the Avengers, whatever the last Avengers was, when Tony Stark, oh my god, bro. Anyways, I digress. But it's not worth losing your life over. I'm telling you, it's not. Because people are watching, I'm telling you, and whether they're in the right or the wrong, you know, the government, anyone, whatever it is, authority figures, they have the final say. I hate to tell you people, I know people go, oh, but the government, and this and that, and it's not fair in this sense. Let me tell you, I think everywhere in every government has its qualms, but Italy, France, everyone's doing their own thing, right? We're all trying and figuring it out. Nothing's ever perfect. Canada, this, that. But just be careful, because people watch and they look, and it's not worth it. Now, sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's just an injustice and people get picked at random, they get, you know, bullied. Sometimes it's also a misunderstanding, and some people get, you know, wrongfully accused of stuff or framed for stuff. That happens a lot with gang stalking. But because you piss someone off and they get angry and then they talk shit and whatever, you know, this, that, and the third. But for me, it's just, it's been really scary. And I feel like I'm 94 pounds. I don't even want to weigh myself. I don't even know how much, but I'm under so much stress. I have high cortisol. I have I'm pretty sure I have PCOS. God forbid if I have some form of cancer or something, that I hope I don't. I pray to God I don't. I've been having, you know, I feel like I get fibromyalgia all over my body where I get in such pain. Stress triggers autoimmune disorders, and, you know, that's the last thing I need or want is like Hashimoto's or multiple sclerosis, and, you know, so just, it's not worth losing your life over, because these people, whoever do this stuff to people, they don't care. They don't care, because it ultimately, if it doesn't serve their best interests, they won't care. So it comes back to the idea of faith, right? Because that's the only thing I've had to lean on and rely on. My social circle, my support system has gotten really, really small. I know a lot of people from like school and jobs, but I can't say I have a solid group of people that I can go, oh my God, like if I was in a bind, if I was in trouble or like scared, I can go, oh, I can call them. And you would say, oh, what about your parents? I realize I'm not going to talk about my family on this forum because it's inappropriate. It's not fair to them. I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, I hate my family, like, because I don't. I grew up in, I literally was so privileged, it's disgusting. You know, I grew up in an upper middle class, and I'm not trying to say this to like be like I'm uppity and I'm better and I'm in the upper echelon. I mean, I grew up around that. I grew up around wealth and money. I went to a private Catholic school, and every moment of that, I will be honest, every moment of that, I felt guilty for that, because I used to see people at, like, in Miami, in Camilla's house. Camilla's house is a homeless shelter. I used to go to the what was it called? The Youth Society or something. It was in downtown Miami, and I volunteered with a friend there once, and for kids that were in foster care. And I don't know, I just always felt bad. I felt guilty having more than other people. So at any opportunity I could give clothes away or shoes, I would. I just always been like that, like, just because my heart broke for people that didn't have much. And it's weird because now the tables have turned and I'm in that position. Like, I have barely any money to my name. had been living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not working right now because I resigned from the other position. People don't want to hire someone that has PTSD or that has like all this stuff going on, or has like, because if you look at my resume, I legit have like, it's like, because I only stay like 2 months, and if people go, oh, she can't hold a job. No, I am like so studious, it's ridiculous. I get a binder, I put like all my materials, I get all my training stuff, I read through the thing. I mean, I am like, I try to be a straight A student when it comes to learning a new job, and I apply myself wholeheartedly. It's usually, and you could say, oh, you need thick skin, you're too sensitive. No, it's workplace bullying, and I don't want that. I've already been through that. I don't need that. And if you say, oh, you should start your own business and be an entrepreneur, yeah, I would love that, but right now it's I can't really do that. That could be a good side thing, and I am kind of working on that. I'm trying to do user-generated content or whatnot, or I don't even know, modeling. I don't even think I have the tetas or the body to do that at this point, because I don't have I used to be more voluptuous, and now it's like wah. But you know, I'm trying. But I lost my train of thought for a second. But yeah, I've been through some really scary stuff, and because I worked in a hospital and I know like certain, I think, substances and things, I'm pretty sure I've been exposed to things like neurotoxins, like mercury, Botox, possibly trace amounts of cyanide, ketamine for sure. I know that. I think fentanyl. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It like basically makes you like stupid tired, you know. You know, so I implore you people, please, it's not worth it. I've been through hell. My life, like, I'm at the point where I go, I'm scouring Airbnb for another place to move to, and I go, I've considered living, like doing the co-living thing, but I don't think it would be safe for me. I mean, imagine, it's not safe now, like if someone comes into an apartment building in a 1-bedroom and bath, right? In like a lower income building. Imagine if it was like me living with a stranger. I can't do that. And I have reached out to a bunch of people that I know and asked them, you know, can you, whatever this. And I would give let me tell you, if I could go back home, I miss Miami a lot, and I miss the grocery stores, I miss my, the food, you know, my food, but, you know, I'm gonna go where God, you know, wherever the universe is supposed to take me, that's where I'm gonna go. And, you know, I feel inclined to say, and I never usually say that, but to all the card readers out there, please stay in your lane. Don't go dabbling into, like, you know, unless you work for the FBI, which I don't think the FBI would be allowing people to go publicly and solve cases, you know. Don't do that. Keep it lighthearted, you know, or do something lighthearted, and then let the people come to you, and then you could do personal readings on the side and say, hey, can you give me advice? Like, do that, but don't, because the thing is, if you people do that, then you're going to give misinformation, and there's going to be people who are very highly impressionable, like me, who will go, oh, I'm going to take that at face value, when really it might not be anything having to do with it. It's not worth it, people. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. And I know I've seen some amazing card readers where I'm like, oh my God, literally their readings coincide with mine, but I don't publicize it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, they legit, like, they said the same thing I did. I'm like, holy shit. It's not worth it. When I tell you, please, because these people will suck your life dry. Whoever they are, it's a very coordinated group effort, very strategic on their end, whoever they are, to do it, and they will psychologically degrade you. I never had any mental health issues until this whole thing started that I went through, few years ago. No health issue. I was kind of shy, but I never had I never had panic attacks, PTSD, anxiety. Like that was not even. I didn't believe in psychiatric medicine. I was like, medicine to make your brain, like who does that? Antidepressants? That's like for sad people. Like no. I was like, I don't want that. And then when you're in it and you're like, you feel hopeless, and there is something called learned helplessness too. It is so hard when you get no closure, especially. That's another thing too. I have gotten no closure. I've gotten no and I'm sorry if I cry about it, but I've gotten no closure. I sit in a lot of uncertainty. And then around me, what makes it worse is that there will be people in the gang stalking world that will perpetuate that. So, last thing I want to say, no matter if you, whether it's an administration, whether it's a key authority figure, a political figure, a mayor, whatever, that's leadership. This is, it doesn't matter who it is. Whether it's your principal, whether it's your teacher, whoever it is, respect those people. Because those people could literally, people have the fate of your life in their hands. And life is a gift, folks. Life is to be on earth and to be manifest in human incarnation and form and do all the wonderful things. I cannot tell you how much, because of what I've gone through, I have so much more of a vast appreciation for like just everyday things. You know, even having weight on my body. Like I was in CVS the other day and I was trying to carry my bags and I literally fell over onto the shelves in the food aisle because I'm so underweight and I fell over. That never would have happened. My mom used to call me an Amazon because I was so strong. I'm petite, but I'm strong. That never would have happened. You know, I've lost everything, you know. Was I done an injustice? Yeah, I do think so. Do I need help? Would I love a public defender? I don't even know what I'd be defending. I have no clue what I'd be defending if I had one, but it's just, I'm imploring the people that think that they're like, they know it all, and I get it. There are people that are anarchists, there are conspiracy theorists, there are people that are never going to be happy where they are. But please, for the love of God, you can create your own happiness while you're here. You can create your own happiness while you're here because it starts with you. It starts with how you start your day. The world is going to go on. The news, the media. Does that mean you have to listen to it or abide by that? No, you live your life how you want to live it. And if you're going to be, and I get it, yes, from the top down, policies, things like that, and that's where you have to choose. Do I want to do this party? Do I want to go with this party? Do I want to be in the middle? That's the beauty of one thing of I think it's republics. Oh my God, I meant like Publix, like the grocery store. That's the beauty of being a democracy and a republic. You get to have this choice, right? So treasure that as much as you can, because and treasure what you have in your life, because one day it could be gone. Because I maybe not have been physically transported to another country or whatever, but in my heart, I feel like my body is not my own anymore. I feel like my life, the trajectory the plan that I want for my life to see come to fruition, I don't feel like my life is my own anymore, because gang stalking, targeting took that from me. And I'm reminded of what a therapist I listened to on a webinar recently with the company that I would like to continue to see for therapy. He said, I hear you, but you're making excuses about why you can't move past it, or why and I sit there and I go, but when you're so betrayed and you had everything taken from you, and he's like, well, take legal action, do things, to help get yourself going. And it's like, it's really hard to explain in a group setting, in a group support group thing format that's virtual. But that's not an excuse. I'm not trying to say, yeah, but it's I've literally lost everything. And that's because there were things that I've been exposed to along the way in certain jobs where things became occupational hazards, where I was afraid to touch door handles, and I still am, because that's how people can get trafficked. But you don't have to be, like I said, transported somewhere to be trafficked. You can be in your home. There's so many different things that people can do these days. So be mindful of the way you the content you put out. Be mindful of the words that you say, because someone will listen and they may get influenced by you. Look at the industry, the influencer industry right now. I'm sorry, look at the influencer industry. I mean, for me, I get influenced by that was too bright, by people. I remember when I was in Indiana and I was like, I don't know why it came across my feed. I was like, I want aromatherapy, I want skincare, and I started to watch videos by beauty influencers, and I bought something from not from an influencer, because she talked about it in her video. I bought it the following day. I did my research and I bought it at Walmart. My little scrub. Smells super good. By the way, Walmart has, like, just to say, Walmart has the, like, best, like, I was sleeping on Walmart. They have, like, really good stuff, and I'm really sad that, like, I'm not close by to one. But anyways, that's a side note. But their beauty products are freaking, like, I think they have a beauty box too. So if you're into beauty stuff, check that out, because it seems really affordable. Need this stuff. And yeah, but it's not worth losing your life over, because I'm telling you, I've in the past 3 months, I've experienced the most frightening things. And you don't know what it's like when you're faced with your mortality. You don't know what it's like. And especially if someone tries to take that away from you. Invisible too. This is the thing, it's invisible, because I was at a certain place, and I'm not going to say where, in a certain state, and it was bad. It got bad. And I was downstairs in a basement, and you don't know who, or when someone wants someone gone, the things that they'll do to try to get rid of someone. I'm just really grateful to be here. And I do miss food. I miss, and people can be really mean. So I implore you, if you are a card reader, if you are spiritual, just please be mindful. Don't waste, unless they come after you, like, unless someone, like what happened to me, unless someone truly, like, intentionally comes after you and threatens your safety and your well-being and all that stuff, then yeah, then you have a right to speak out about it. Like, I'm trying to help myself through this, but, like, at the same time, just stay in your lane. Don't talk about, if it's not your business, don't talk about, crime hour, tarot. Like, don't, keep it with other people. Tell other people, like, in your life. That's just my take on it. And I know people would probably disagree with me and go, no, but it's entertaining in the car. No. or do it on your own accord. Because my body is, I've been through hell. I've had to move several times. Didn't feel welcomed in the communities that I moved to for the most part. Tried to make the best of it. Because I'm the kind of person that if you give me a negative situation, I'll alchemize it and I'll try to make it positive. Walked into places where I literally, to this day, I'm not kidding, there's a running joke that I think the people who harass me, they call me a Pokemon. I don't know, and I know this is, just follow me here. They call me a Pokemon because they, Pokemons are very cute, but they're like little, not weird, but they're just alien, like little creatures. And they have little powers or whatever, and I used to I love Pokemon. I used to play Pokemon Go in Miami. I used to be like, oh, I'm going to stand over here and get this, whoop, I got Bulbasaur, Jigglypuff, woo, Mewtwo, Togepi, Charizard, Charmander, whatever. I was really into it. I don't remember who. I think my favorite ones were Eevee and Ninetales, because I think Eevee evolved into Ninetales. Togepi was really cute too. It was Mew and then Mewtwo. Anyways, I watched the whole Pokemon movie. It was an awesome movie. Cartoon movie. But that's a running joke. And I mean by that, and if you don't know what Pokemon is, where you go, gotta catch them all. Someone kept insinuating that I was like a Pokemon and I needed to be captured. So then that scared me, and I'm like, oh great, because I'm a freak and I'm weird, that's what they were insinuating by cyberbullying me. So, have I been nervous? Yeah, I have. Are you okay, baby? Come here. Am I hoping that things will change? I hope so. That's why I pray. I listen to my music, and, someone can go, oh, she's a Jesus freak, whatever. I'm like, I'd rather be a Jesus freak than a pessimistic, demonic, scary, I don't know, demon worshiper person. Being on the light side of things is much better. It's like the dark side and the light side, right? Like, I always reference Star Wars, but it's like, well, I don't know what the light side is. Is it the Rebel Cause or the Rebel Alliance? Or is it there's the other one, and there's the, oh my god, which one is it? What is the one? I can't remember. The Resistance? Yeah. And the other one. But, I don't know which one is which or who's part of what. This is, but that's how I see it. And, I've been through hell, but I'm hoping that I can, my health has suffered immensely. I feel weak and fatigued majority of the time. Hard to concentrate sometimes. Finding a job that, pays well now, because I was, I had my career and I had everything, and it just kind of all just fell apart. So I'm trying to figure it out and make it better. But I wanted to share that, and I wanted to give espouse a little bit on religion and faith and all that, because I think that is important. I think it is to have some sort of, faith or something, because it's kind of like it's a GPS system. It's like it's your moral compass, right? Just like in yoga, there's the yamas and the niyamas, which are the guiding principles in which you live your life. It's the same thing. And the Ten Commandments are, like that. And do I push it on people? No. I just think you should be kind. Have courage, be kind, treat people with respect. And that's it. And if people want to look at you as a freak because they've tried to unalive you multiple times or talk shit about you or frame you, and you manage to bounce back from the pits of hell, it's like in the Bible they talk about throwing Daniel in the lion's den. It's the same thing. And I don't know how else I'm gonna come out of it. I don't, because every day feels like another hurdle, another battle, and I've been trying so hard, and it's very scary to me. And I think I think some people see it as like a test, and they want to see, oh, how far can we take it? If she's like, the next thing, I'm sure people want to, I've said it before, if people restrict my food or access to stuff, they probably want to see me go camping and turn into like Xena Warrior Princess 2.0, you know, and go fishing. And I can't, you know, I can't afford that. I have bills to pay. I can't go to Bass Pro Shops or Dick's Sporting Goods and buy a fishing wire and get bait. And, you know, if I had time and if I had a good amount of money, sure, I'll do it. But that's probably what they want me to do, or live in a tent. And living in a tent would not be safe as a targeted person, especially with no electricity in the middle of nowhere. That's how someone gets kidnapped. That's how someone gets trafficked. And I'm not looking to have that happen to me anytime soon, which is why I'm making this video, because I do need help, and my support system is very limited and small. And I'm not that tech savvy or like social media savvy, so YouTube's a little bit easier to navigate. And I realize that there's so many people on YouTube that exist, and everyone's trying and going through something hard. It's just, for me specifically, it's like to see your life fall apart before your eyes is really frustrating. Especially someone like me, because I love education, and I will be honest, in 3 weeks I have to figure out, you know, where I'm gonna go, and I don't want to use my credit card. I have so much debt on my credit cards because I put my rent and groceries on my credit cards. So I don't know really what to do. I've tried to apply for, like, you know, SNAP, Medicaid, things like that. And in Illinois, I got rejected for SNAP. I didn't send in my proof of residency in time, or I didn't have it in time, so I don't know if I'll get that. But I did create a GoFundMe, and I don't want to add that in my thing because I just feel weird asking people for money, so I just left it on GoFundMe. If you want to go find it, you can go find it. I'm not going to put a link to that because I just don't like asking for money. But at most, I will say this, because if people go, oh, stop saying that's an excuse to be homeless, you have a roof over your head. Yeah, but I don't feel safe. I'm not in a safe, in the building I'm in, I just don't feel. It's like the things that I've experienced, some people that I've encountered. Some people look nice, some people, I don't know, not so much. And then to be gaslit and told, oh no, you're okay, that's the most invalidating experience ever. But I have been, you know, in terms of jobs and stuff, I will continue to look for that. Hard to find, but I try to ask myself, if everything was okay and I could choose where I'd want to go, I'd go, where would I want to go? The only thing is that every time I've been in a rental car, weird stuff have happened in a rental car where, like, there's like either a gas leak or there's low tire pressure and I needed to change the tire. And things have been done like maliciously to tamper with cars. You know, so I'm kind of nervous about that, to be honest. So I was like, maybe I should just move somewhere that's within a short distance. So, but yeah, any help is appreciated. I've met some interesting people, I will say, after posting my videos. It's amazing how many people are going through the same experience as I am. I don't know if they're going through the whole food weirdness thing, but the taunting, the harassment and stuff, yeah. But I will say that, I don't know, praying does help, I think. Sometimes I wonder if it was all a test or an experience to get people to get closer to Christ or to rely on faith, which would be a very weird way to try to get people to do that, you know, because they say, oh, if you break someone down, to build them back up or have them come closer to God and realize their faith. I was always close to God. Like, I don't consider myself a born again person, just because you know, I've always been, since I was like 8 or 9 years old, I used to be at my little prayer shrine and used to be like, please God, you know, like I prided myself on my little prayer shrine. So yeah, if you are someone that, if you do know someone and that person knows someone that would be able to help to navigate it, that would be great. I am trying to get therapy, but it does cost money, you know, so yeah. And I hope I live. I hope I make it through it, because I do get scared to eat certain things because I don't know if it's been tampered with. And I know people say, oh, don't order food to you. And I'm like, yeah, but sometimes walking outside and going to the thing, it's a little bit, places that I want to eat are a little bit farther. So, you know, that I feel safe ordering from. So anyways, I apologize for talking my ear off or someone's ear off, but you know, it is serious and it's my life, and I don't want to lose my life. I don't want other people to lose their lives because other people try to hurt them or, you know, harass them. So, and also be mindful of the foods that you eat and consume. That's another thing. So, I hope that helps somebody. Anything else I wish to share? I think that's it. Yeah, I feel grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be here still, considering the circumstances and how tiny and skinny I've gotten. It's an uphill battle, but you know, I like to think of like with Joan of Arc, how they put the armor on. And I'm gonna be, if people want to say, oh, stop being lazy and look for jobs, trust me, I'm on Indeed, LinkedIn, I do my homework, and I really, if I could have my own food truck, I would, you know, I would gladly do that, or have my own little bistro and serve food, and that's, you know, healthy, good, and fulfilling, and, you know, I would gladly do that, but, right now, I can't really, that would take a lot of money, so, you know, I will grow from this and learn from it, and yeah, that's it. And I will make the best of it. That's all you can do. But I don't want to live in a forest in a tent. You know, I'm trying to find other options or places to move to that are affordable for me and safe. Safety is huge because healing, Brene Brown says healing requires safety. So, yeah. So if you watch this far, God bless your soul. You have a lot of time on your hands. And I pray that whatever ails you, because everyone's going through something different, just know that life may not go the way that you expect it to. But if you look for the good, if you find something good, then that's what matters, you know. And maybe your story, there's a poet that I like, her name's Morgan Harper Nichols, and she said something about, let the story of the hill you've climbed be someone else's survival guide. So maybe my story will be someone else's survival guide. And if you want to reach out to me to discuss this further, I'd be more than happy. I'm not an expert on it. I don't like talking about it. I did not want my YouTube channel to be about this crap, but alas, here we are. And I really wanted it to be about fun stuff. Or not just fun stuff, just overcoming. It was supposed to be a form of peer support for people going through trauma, and, you know, chronicling my day-to-day, you know, activities and stuff of a 30, you know, solo female living her life, you know, kind of shy and introverted and doing her thing, just to get a glimpse into that and, you know, share that, because I think it's unique and different. And that could go if you're someone from a completely different nationality than me, or a religious background, a political affiliation. I don't discriminate. So if you're like the complete opposite of me in politics, I'm not going to scorn you. I don't believe in that. That's not my thing. Respectfully. I could probably learn from you. I'm the type of person, if you hold a difference of opinion from me, I'm not going to be biased or judgmental and be like, oh, I'm going to go, okay, let's sit down and I'm going to learn from you. And I'm going to find things within your thing. I'm going to go, okay, that's pretty cool, but what about this? Can we add on this layer? And then you listen to me, and then we create this cool collaboration That's kind of that's how I roll in life, you know. I think that's the best way to mediate something. You don't hold some, you know, bias towards people. You listen objectively and you create your own well-informed decisions. So so that's what you can do about me if you want to, right? So yeah, but that's if anyone wants to the religious debate, that's a whole another thing. That's a can of worms. But I am curious to learn a little bit more about whether it's Judaism or Confucianism, Taoism, Taoism, Buddhism, Christianity, is it the Latter-day Saints, whatever, you know. I'm interested to know a little bit more about it, because why not? Why not? Does it mean I'm going to practice it? Maybe not. But the more you know, the more well-rounded of a human being or individual you'll become. God bless.